So in the interest of full disclosure, it took me, the guy I got this from, and my son Mateo to load this. I'm going to try and do it by myself. We've got the video camera rolling just in case I need footage to prove how stupid I was. This thing outweighs me about 2.5 to 1. Let's try it. Survived! Hi everyone, Redneck Computer Geek here. We got another freebie. This one's a big one. It's huge. It is a Stanley garden tractor with a 5-speed 21 horsepower. Now, there's an issue with this particular tractor that is already known to me, but we will get to that in a sec. This is an interesting tractor, and this is why it is I really enjoy tractor hunting and doing the free ads and talking with people. Apparently Stanley made some of these garden tractors for about 3 years. They were really large attempts at getting into the market. It is a Murray GT that has been rebranded as a Stanley. If you look it up on partstree.com, and I'll include a link down in the description, basically they made a series of these that were hydros, and then in 2003, which is this model, they made a GT series that had 820 rear ends in it. Solid 1-inch axles and everything. So we're going to take a look at this. I'm going to grab the camera, do a once-over. There's some interesting and unique little things about this machine, and then we'll see whether it'll even start. Here we go. Alright, so it's got 4 good tires on it, one of which had a slow bit of a leak when I first started on the other side, and I was able to get it to come back to life and reseal it. So that's a good thing to start with. I'm not sure why the muffler guard is missing. That's not exactly a normal thing to be off, but hopefully I can put a piece of metal across there easy enough to cover that. Now when I come around here, this is a cute little thing. And yes, that is a nail through there, bent around. And on the other side, hopefully you can see it. Let me switch modes here. The bearings are actually still there with the rollers. Apparently this came off of a jack for car use. And the jack was blown out and the guy threw it on there. I thought that was an interesting idea. And that's also what's down in here. See if I can switch it in again. Right down in there, if you can see, that's off of a car jack. This is all a little messed up, but I did notice, if I can get this here, that the blades are in good condition. They seem to turn nice. The edge is a little bit dull, but the blades, all 3, seem to be in pretty decent condition. We may end up doing a video on the deck here, depending on what we do. Pulleys definitely have been replaced recently. That's always nice to see. He did warn me that apparently the wing nuts that are for this on the other side are not holding. So we're going to have to take a look at that and see what we can do. And as you can see the bubbling here in this tire, I remounted the edge bit and it seems to be doing okay now. We'll check it in the morning and go from there. He had the piece for the hatch here. You end up seeing this missing on a lot of Murrays, and it's because people go to do electrical work on the inside here, and they have to get to this starter solenoid and pull all the rats out of here and stuff, and then from there you can get to other things. And the hood, I mean not the hood, obviously the seat. The seat on the back is in good condition and not rusted up. Looks like somebody replaced it recently. Springs are good. The battery is absolutely shot. I've got another one already on the charger. A 400 cranking amp that used to be in the mud mower that we're going to throw in here to try this today. It's always interesting to see on these Murrays that these shift knobs, for some reason, survive and seem to do really well, but yet for some reason these foot peg rubbers are always missing and they're always worn right off. I don't know why that is on a Murray. And see, at least that one's the one it's supposed to be. And now the next question is, what's under the hood? Now it should be a 21 horsepower. Dun da da da. Whoop. Okay, well apparently that hood is loose. We have a 21 horsepower Intech. Looks as if nobody's been in it for a while. It's got some nesting going on here. I'll probably pull this off just to double check there isn't something in underneath. Because if you've seen my video about rat's nests in engines that have been sitting, you know that they can overheat an engine really quick and blow a connecting rod right through the side of the motor. For anybody who's curious, this is your vacuum pump. And you've got your lead here that goes to your gas. You've got this lead here which goes to the top of your overhead valves, your valve cover here, and then this lead here is your pump side that goes into the carburetor itself. You see that ass a lot, so I figured I'd point that out. While we're here, let's see what kind of motor oil we have in it. Looks as if we've got decent oil. That's actually in moderately good condition on the low side though. And the gas is pretty well empty, but just enough for us to see if we can fire it off. Oh, did notice one more thing. Down here on the starter, hopefully this will work long enough for us to fire it. That's a tad bit concerning. Also, it looks like something chewed through that or somebody mangled it with a pair of pliers. So we'll see what we can do there. Well, that's a little nasty. We'll set that aside for now. Alright, so we got our clutch brake down, battery booster on, full throttle, pull the choke. Let's see if miracles happen. Nope. And that right there is probably why the service panel was off on this machine. I can hear the starter solenoid trying to kick over, but nothing happening. Let's pull that little connection on the side of the starter a bit. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to try and jump directly across that starter. It doesn't look very good, but we'll see what we can rig together. Alright, so this has a very high level of sketchy to it, but we're going to take this and we're going to set it on here and try and hold it without that contact holding anything on the side, and then clamp this to ground and see what happens. Alright, as scary as it is, I think this might actually start if I can get the brake down. Okay, brake down, safety switch off. Nothing safe about this. I can smell gas, lots of sparks, here we go. or not. Well, it's thinking about it. Alright, so because I can't manage to be in 3 places at once, we're going to hold the spark plug here. We're going to hold the clip here onto the side of the motor, and I've got a clamp holding down the clutch pedal / brake on the other side. Okay, we've got spark. So at this point, we know the spark plug will work in this coil. We know the brake push down is setting off the safeties. We're going to add a little bit of starter fluid to it and see what it does. Oh, we thought about it. Alright, so after a thorough inspection of the spark plugs, decided to put some new ones in. Now we're going to give it some juice and see what it does this time. So at this point I don't have a good feeling about this gas line. Now that we got it to kick over on starter fluid, obviously it'll fire. And I don't really want to attempt anything more with this particular starter until we figure out why it is that the pump doesn't seem to have any gas going into it. I think what we're going to do now is move the camera and undo this fuel filter and see what comes out of this. Alright, so at this point we really should have fuel at this filter, but I'm betting we don't. I just have this gut instinct feeling. Let's see what happens if we pop this. Actually, scratch that. We can see fuel actually going in there. So let's try the other side of the fuel pump. So we should be able to crank it over and have it shoot some fuel. Alright, so we got fuel coming out. So the problem is probably in the carburetor then. So as you can see, obviously it needs a starter and obviously it needs a lot of carburetor work. And I think we could get it up and running as far as the engine is concerned. Unfortunately, I do know the reason why this lawn tractor was free. The reason this lawn tractor was free is not because of the engine. The guy told me I definitely could get it running. For 2 years, the guy ran it. The first year he ran it, he said he did not use third gear because it went click, 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 click if he was driving it. Apparently he continued for 2 years to plow with it and mow his yard. And the click, click, click in third gear turned into every gear now makes horrible noises. So at some point we're going to pull this transmission out of this and we're going to rip into it and find out exactly what started as a third gear click and what is apparently caused the whole transmission to now click in all gears. The other thing is I know a ton of you are going to say, mud mower, mud mower, mud mower. I can't. If I can get this machine up and running and get it decent, it's a good $400 to $500 flip up here in Maine. My Ford Ranger, the engine is having all kinds of issues. My wife just recently had to get a different vehicle on the road. I just can't do it at this time, guys. But as soon as I can, we will get an 820 set up on this channel. But I would recommend checking out another channel, Doc Sprocket. He has a Murray. It's a base Murray named Fugazi. And you should go check out his 820 setup that he has in it. The thing is a monster. So free inevitably ends up costing money. But when you get it free to begin with, being able to go and put some money into it and get it up and running, it's worth it. Brand new Chinese carburetor. I'll include a link down below. Ended up working out really good. Watch out though, Chinese carburetors are one of those, either you get a good one or you get a lemon. It's kind of a gamble. Brand new air filter, brand new battery. Otherwise than that, everything else is as I got it. It does need an oil change and a filter. I'll be doing that soon. And I still need to tear the transmission apart and find out what's up with third gear. But I did discover on Sears Part Direct that you can order the gears for the 820 transmission still. So, I'm going to be taking a look at that later, but let's start it up and see if it'll mow. I haven't touched the blades yet, so that could get interesting. As you can see, everything's fired up, it's running, it's got everything still needs a little working out. I've noticed that the safety switch for the deck engagement apparently is messed up and keeps kicking in and out. As you could see, it's bucking in the transmission, so I've got to tear it apart, find out what gear is gone. But a free Intech that runs with only about $70 worth of parts is pretty good in my book. The rear end is fixable. It's got a brand spanking new deck belt. The deck engages and it cuts. It just needs sharper blades. I think we did okay. Have fun, everyone, and hopefully you get some freebies of your own. Post up some videos. I'd love to see them too. Have a good day.